Welcome back everyone to more career mode gameplay of NASCAR Heat 5. And coming up in today's video, we're headed to Pocono. Or are we? We'll get back to that in a few minutes, but first, let's hop over to the season standings and let's take stock in sort of where we are. Let's summarize our season and where we go from here. To start off with, we are in position number 16 in the playoffs, which is the final position in. So we cannot go any lower. We can't lose any more points positions and still be in this race. So let's first start talking about who's behind us. Okay, how many points do we have to as a points cushion? Well, Matt DiBenedetto is 22 points behind us. So if he passes us, we're out. Also, we know that if anybody who is in a points position below us gets a victory, that would move them in and it moves us out. So both of those are no good at all. So then we think, okay, what about moving up? Is there a way that we can move up to 15th or 14th and better secure our position in the playoffs? Well, we can, but if you notice, Clint Bowyer is over 30 points ahead of us. So it's going to take a lot. Even though he and Alex Bowman are sort of fighting over this 14th position in points, they are still well ahead of us. And of course, we know that we're going to be simulating multiple races in the coming weeks, so we generally don't get very good results from those, even with a fully upgraded car. So that's going to put us in a bind. So catching those ahead of us is going to be rough. So our best opportunity to get in, as always, is to get a victory. But since that seems to be a very slim chance, we need to get all the points we can and focus on trying to catch Bowman and or Bowyer ahead of us. That's our best opportunity to give us some leeway to not fall out of the top 16 and find ourselves on the outside looking in when it comes to the playoffs. So the number of races left in the regular season is narrowing very quickly. We need to use this opportunity to get as many points as we can. Now, for some of you, I'm sure you have noticed that there are some things I'm doing that aren't necessarily the best options to take, especially with regards to which chassis we work on and take to certain tracks. And you are right. There are things I'm doing to keep this fun for me and hopefully for you guys by increasing the tension and making it harder on us to make it into the playoffs. I am much better off with reaching the end of the regular season and not making the playoffs because things didn't work out. We had some bad luck. Simulated finishes didn't go our way. Whatever the case may be, I'm much better off with that than simply cruising into the playoffs and everything being easy and not providing any difficulty for us. So that's why I'm making some of the decisions I'm making. They don't always make sense, and sometimes they might be really worse decisions than we should be making. But again, it's all in the name of fun and adding some tension as we get closer and closer to the end of the regular season. But the real thing I wanted to talk about in today's video, before we get into any type of racing, is something that I've mentioned not just in NASCAR Heat 5, but also in Heat 4. And we've talked about this going back, who knows how far into the season, maybe to the very beginning of NASCAR Heat. But it is something that I will continue to talk about, and I will continue to beat this dead horse until it's no longer in the game. So let me start by saying that I understand that there are things that game developers do in order to enhance the experience for the player. In other words, there are things you do in a game that just sort of give the players something else to do. So you give them more things to do, more buttons to push, more things to accomplish, even if they don't necessarily make sense in real world terms. And that's okay. I completely understand that. However, this one thing has annoyed me year after year because it simply makes no sense whatsoever to have it in the game. And that's what I want to talk about today. Okay, a lot of things, in fact, most things. There are several things about the NASCAR Heat Series that just annoy me, but most of them annoy me for a few minutes and then I just simply move on, assume it's just a design decision for any number of reasons, and I move on. No big deal. But this one, every year in career mode, when you start your own team, it's only whenever you run your own team do you have this issue at all. So let's talk about that a little bit today. So you notice that the next 5 races, looking in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen, upcoming tracks, All 5 of them are speedways. Different types of speedways, albeit, but they're all speedways. We have 2 speedway chassis. In real life terms, you would think, hey, we're good to go. We could simply take those with us, use them race after race, even alternate them if you wanted to. Everything will be fine. Perform your normal maintenance after each race, maybe an engine change. You're good to go. But in the game, it doesn't work like that at all. And we're going to see that over the next several races. And that's something that I wanted to highlight today. The most recent race, we used Speedway Chassis number 2 that we currently have the cursor on right now on screen. And you notice how far down the performance has come. Now, granted, our maximums are 95, 90, and 95, but for the purposes of this discussion, that doesn't even matter. It could be 100s across the board. And let's just assume for a moment you had 100s across the board. So you have a team that competes for top 5s and victories each and every race. You're always in the top 10. You're competing for those podiums and victories. Well, as soon as you finish the race with that chassis, it immediately drops to 70s across the board. Now, they have made some changes to the game that will give you driving bonuses that will bring that back up a little bit. In fact, a smooth driving bonus is what we got after our most recent race, which is why this chassis shows 78, 76, and 78. So they have helped it a little bit, but going from terrible to not quite as bad still isn't good. So it doesn't really accomplish the goal. Because in real life terms, it doesn't make sense that you would have a fully upgraded car go from 100s competing for victories in top 5s to maybe you can keep up with the back of the field, finish 35th for no reason. It just simply makes no sense at all to take performance away from the car to this level. Now, if you wanted to take away a few points here and there and require that maintenance be performed or something along those lines, I get that. That's not a problem and it's understandable. But to take away all of the performance from the car after each and every race it's used makes zero sense whatsoever. That is, again, I can't even, in my head, I can't come up with any real reason to do that except going back to it's a game and they're trying to give you as much stuff to do as possible as the player. So they want you to purchase as many chassis, hire as many employees, train as many employees as possible. In other words, give you buttons to push, stuff to do, stuff to keep you occupied outside of the racing itself. So from that perspective, I don't mind it, but this is one thing, and I will beat this dead horse as long as it's continues to be in the game. I hope it goes away and dies a horrible death after NASCAR Heat 5 and does not make its way into Heat 6 and moving forward, but I have no way of knowing one way or another, so we'll see how things go, and we'll see if this is something else that's going to keep me annoyed in years to come. But for today's purposes, the reason I mentioned at the very beginning that we're headed to Pocono, or are we? Well, we're going to find out. I'm not going to race a chassis that's not fully upgraded, and I'm not going to change the way I'm doing things to make it less fun, less challenging. So I'm intentionally going to put us in a bind during certain times so that it forces us to have a little bit more fun and a little bit more difficulty. So that's what we're going to do today. So let's hop over to Speedway Chassis number 1. Now, we could, and some of you are probably screaming this at your screen right now, we could go in and work on our employees. We could train them a little bit more because remember, they're not fully upgraded. They're simply at 10 across the board on their chosen field instead of 12, which would be the maximum. But we're working on that next upgrade for the department. And then who knows, we'll get back to getting these guys fully upgraded at some point, but that's in the future. All right, we're looking at right now. So let's look in the top right-hand corner. $7.2 million is how much we have right now. And if you remember, the amount of money we need to upgrade our engine from 95 to 100 is $8 million. So it's possible, maybe not likely, but it's possible that this next race gives us the roughly $800,000 we need in order to upgrade our engine for the next race. But then, do we have the employees necessary to get back up to that 100 or even the 95 that we've got. That's what we're going to find out. So this is where this next, say, 4 or 5 race streak is going to be very intense for us, and it's going to go a long way in determining whether or not we're going to make it to the playoffs. So more tension, more difficulty equals more fun for me, and hopefully for you guys as well. So let's go ahead and start working on our chassis for today's race. We're going to be working on chassis number 1. And let's see. I want to auto assign, but I know it's probably not going to give me what I want. Let's see what it does. Oh, how about that? I like it. I like it. We've seen in the past where auto assign gave us a lot of things we did not need. So here, you notice what we've got. All right, we've got Speedway chassis number 1, which is not too bad. Aero is going to be maxed out at 90. But other than that, we're not maxed out. We're not quite there. And again, the reason for that, and there are ways around this, I'm aware, such as using the short track chassis, but we're not going to do that to keep things interesting. But that is where it really starts to get on my nerves, honestly, that you have to deal with this type of thing. So we've got some decisions to make. Now that we've got everybody applied, let's just go ahead and start the work. All right, so work plan. Okay, we're going to hop back over. It wants us to go ahead and head to the race. We're not going to do that just yet because we've got 2 options. We can simulate the race with Speedway chassis number 1, which is definitely our best chassis for the race and probably will give us our best opportunity for a good finish. However, do we want to do that? Or do we want to use chassis number 2, get a little bit worse finish now, but give us an opportunity maybe for a better chassis to use in the next race? Let's see how it works out. All right, select that car for the race. I'm going to go ahead and use this one. Why am I going to do that? Because, well, we're going to have an opportunity to get this one in really good shape for the next race, but we'll see how that changes going forward. That's just something to think about for the future. All right, so chassis number 1, again, not fully upgraded. So let's see how this works out. All right, simulate the race. Let's see what we get. All right, the 1s and the 0s are busy calculating. Oh, 30th position, ouch. Ouch. And then look at our money. We did not make it. 674,000. Yeah, that's about 125 short of where we needed to be. Moderate driving bonus. So our cars were, yeah, we went from basically 90s across the board to 70s across the board. Again, makes no sense. And I promise I'm not going to beat this dead horse continually for the remainder of the season, but I did want to take one video and get my point across. Sometimes you just got to let it out. And today is that day for me. All right, so there we go. 30th position. Now, as we get ready for the second race at Pocono, where are we in the standings? Oh, Matty D actually lost a couple of points there. He was 22 out, now he's 25 out. Unfortunately, if you'll notice ahead of us in the points, yeah, that's now over 50 points that we're behind Alex Bowman for 15th. So our chances of catching he or Boyer are getting less and less. They are just disappearing, vaporizing before our very eyes. The other bad thing is, you notice Matty D lost a few points, but now Jimmy Johnson has gained a lot of points. So, wow. He is now in the running. Eric Jones is inside of 30 points as well. So we're a lot closer to losing our points position than we are to gaining a points position. And that is a scary place to be. So that means it's time to, once again, work on the chassis. All right, so let's see. Can we auto-assign and it actually do good again? Oh, yeah. I like this. I like this a lot. So now we've got a chassis that is maxed out. This other one, not so much. Like, not so much at all. So here is where we've got another decision to make. Now, our decision before the first Pocono race, admittedly, wasn't much of a decision because it was going to work out great regardless. Here, not so much, because we're going to be in the same position with chassis number 1 for the next race if we decide not to use it here than we were this last time. It is just, there's no way we can get to fully upgraded from where we are right now. We can be fully upgraded on Aero, but not the other two. So now we have to decide, and essentially for me, this is a decision of, do we want to run Pocono or run Indy? Because one of these two races, we're going to have a less than stellar chassis, and the other one, we're going to be okay. So what I'm going to choose to do is skip by Pocono entirely, and the reason is very simple. We have 7.8 million. This next race will definitely give us enough money to upgrade our engine, so I am going to simply do that. We're going to get that upgraded engine, and we're going to head to Indy with a better opportunity for a better points paying position. So let's go ahead and start that work. All right, there you have it. So chassis number 2 is definitely our best option to use right now for the best finish. However, I'm keeping this one for next week at Indy. Again, this is pathetic that I have to do this, but that's what we're going to do. And again, what the game wants us to do is purchase a whole bunch more chassis, hire a whole bunch more employees, and all of that. But even with that in mind, it is still ridiculous that we're here making this decision with these types of consequences. But yet, here we are. All right, so I think I'm just going to use chassis number 1, albeit as rough as it is. And we're going to see what happens. So let's select the chassis for the race. And yep, we're going to go out there with chassis number 1 in all its glory, simulate this race, except what do we get? Ooh, 31st. Yeah, we're consistent. How about that? We'll pull away something positive from Pocono, and we'll say we are consistent. 30th one race, 31st the next, and sloppy driving again because we simulated, and we're back down to 70s. Yeah, that really helps my mood with this game right now. All right, incentive contract, to say the least, we did not get the 3 top 15s. So now we need to move over to the season standings, and we need to see what damage was done in this race. That's 2 terrible races in a row. So what happened? Let's see. Where are we going? Indy and New Hampshire. Not going to be running Kentucky probably because of the things we've been talking about. I think we can get 2 top 15s, assuming we actually run both of these races. Hopefully we can get top 15s there. That's the plan anyway. All right. Season standings, where are we? Ooh. Yeah, this is Matt DiBenedetto is just not having a good time at all. He's down there with us. Like, he just continues to lose spots. Unfortunately, Jimmy Johnson and Eric Jones are not having terrible luck. They are doing quite nicely. They just keep on steady as she goes. And now, Clint Boyer and Alex Bowman are basically gone from us. I mean, you look at the points differential here. Yeah, we're gone. 70 points. Nope, can't do it. Unless we have some amazing finishes. So that's probably off the board. But Jimmy Johnson, 8 points behind us. Yeah, that's no good for us, which is a little bit ironic since we were just driving that car last season. So that is going to come back to haunt us. And Eric Jones, 15 points out. That's one good stage for him and a bad stage for us where we get no points and he gets a lot of points. And he could be right back in there with us. Same thing with Jimmy Johnson. So this is really starting to get interesting right now. But there is some good news. We have $8.5 million. Let's upgrade. 95 to 100. Make it happen. Maxed. Love seeing that maxed out next to it. But now we're down to about 500 grand is all we have left. So what I'm going to do now is let's hop over to the My Teammates, and what it really means is my employees, and train. So let's take a moment and view what do we need to get to 12 across the board. We need $679,000. Okay, so not too bad. That's on Aero. Of course, we're not interested in Aero, but so what we're going to do is I'm going to come over to the engine, 254. I'm going to accept that. And where's our other engine guy? Okay, Eddie Bonilla. Love that name. That's a great name. All right, Eddie, you're going to 11 as well. That spends all of our money. So now, engine is as good as it's going to get. We need to focus on the suspension and the aero moving forward. But of course, that will be for a different time. All right, now we need to auto-assign. How's this going to work out for us? What I've been waiting so long to be able to see, 100 max on the engine for Super Speedway chassis number 2. Now this guy, again, admittedly, there's not a whole lot they can really do here, but let's go ahead and assign them nonetheless over here. And you might as well do a little work where you can. So not bad. We're going to be 190 and 95. Speedway chassis number 1 is still lagging sorely behind. We're doing the best we can with it, but it's just not able to quite get there. It needs an extra race, or it needs some additional training for employees to have any shot of getting close to being maxed out. All right, so let's go ahead and start that work. Have to laugh every time I have to say that. All right, select your chassis. So 21 laps at Indy. Doesn't sound like much. It's a few more laps than we had at Pocono, but laps around Indy take a while. So 20 laps takes more time than you think. But we are finally going to get to use a fully upgraded engine. I'm extremely excited about this possibility. Chassis number 2 is ready. And finally, after a few very rough weeks of finishing 30th and 31st, we get to run a race and hopefully cement our spot with some more points. All right, folks, it is race time here at Indianapolis. And we'll be starting in the 14th position, so a top 15 starting spot, not bad at all. I did not get a good lap, so I'm cautiously optimistic about our chances here. I could definitely feel that we have less grip, and of course our aero and our suspension not being fully upgraded is the reason for that, but so that part's going to be a challenge, but at least we have some horsepower. So hey, I will take it one step at a time. All right, let's get this thing going. Now, we are on the outside, and we'll see how these guys get down into turn 1. Getting up to speed is always a little interesting with these guys. All right, I would like to slot down on the bottom. Can I get there? Yeah, we can get there. Oh, look out. As soon as I get down there, everybody's brake checking.
Careful, still there.
All right, I'm going to get way out of the gas here. Let's make sure we can get this thing turned and make sure we're not running over each other. All right, so we got a great run here. Apparently, they're really stacked up in front of us. All right, I'm way out of the gas early there. Again, just trying to give everybody room, and still don't know exactly how much grip I'm going to have, especially at this terrible angle on entry. Oh, that is rough.
Still there?
But look at that. We're actually pulling some cars on the straightaway. Oh, I like that a lot. That is a good feeling.
Still there?
Oh, turn, turn, turn. But when you got a good car at Indy, speaking in this game, of course, when you got a good car at Indy, I mean, you can just haul the mail through the corners. But for us today, not so much. We're going to have to deal with some reduced grip, but I still think we're going to be quite okay. I'm trying not to use the brakes right now because I'm trying to see what the car has got. I want to see, as always, I run little to no. Oh, that is awful off the corner there. I had to get way out of the gas. Really tight. Okay, so I'll have to remember that. Alright, that wasn't too bad. Again, just trying to play around with some things just to see what kind of grip I've got and what kind of turn we've got in the car. How much I'm having to get out of the gas and so on. But we're in 8th position right now, so I'm not complaining. We are looking really good so far. Now, only 5 laps in the stage, and of course that's because we're running short percentage races, and of course this is a very long track. All right, we've managed to run down that 42 car. Let's see if we can do anything with him here. And again, this is such an amazing thing to actually be able to pull out and try to pass somebody on the straightaway. I'm all for it.
You're all clear up top there. Outside.
Oh, he's holding his own out there. That means that I'm not going to be able to get what I'm looking for on corner entry. Can't carry the speed.
Careful, still there.
All right, now we need some horsepower down this straightaway, and look in that
You're
rear
all
view
clear
mirror.
up top.
We are pulling. Oh, that wasn't a good entry.
Hold your line, got one inside.
All right, so the 2 car appears to have
Got a car
opened up
coming
the
inside
floodgates
You're all
on us
clear
there.
the
So a
bottom
couple of cars get by us. Again, still in that top 10. And still
One
got some
more to go.
horsepower down the straightaways.
Stay at the
Ouch.
bottom. You're all clear up top.
So the 11 car, we had a little bit of contact there. Don't know why. Don't know if I moved up into him or if he came down into me. But it was on the straightaway, so it was a little bit odd. All right, 8th position, and now we got to run down the 2 car. So the 2 car apparently has got some speed. Because not only did he get by us, but then he proceeded to immediately pull away. And these guys behind us are just side by side. Looks like 2 or 3 rows deep back there. So they're really fighting hard.
That'll earn you a few
And as far as I'm
stage
concerned, they can continue doing that. Now, stage 1 is over. We got stage points. That is awesome. 3 points doesn't sound like a lot, but we'll take all we can get. All right, so we do not pit here. We will probably pit after stage 2, maybe? I don't know. That's something to think about
We're
now.
going green.
We'll have to see.
Almost ready.
We'll have to see. Do we want to go for maximum fun, or do we sort of play it safe and not pit? I mean, you guys know which way I'm probably leaning already,
Careful.
especially after the beginning of today's video.
Got one down low now.
Oh, 1 down low. Oh, really didn't want to hear that.
Hold your line. Stay
Oh,
high.
I intended to
Got
get
one
down
peeking
right there,
inside.
but that didn't happen. All right, let's see. We've got a nice run here, but nothing we can do with it.
Careful. Still there.
All right, we are in a mess right here,
Gotta
so
go
I'm
low
backing
now.
out of this early. Maybe a
Hold your
touch
line,
too
got
early.
one inside.
Boy, the sharks
Got
smelled
one
blood in the
peeking
water,
inside.
didn't they? They immediately come by. One bad corner, and that's how it works.
Careful. Still there.
I just did not like where we were
Hard to go this
on
time
corner
out.
entry there. I did not like being on the outside there with all these guys so close. I've seen bad things happen with that, and I did not want to end up being one of the bad
Stay
things.
low. Stay low.
So the good news is, if we have speed,
Careful. Still there.
we can get back up there. If we don't, then we're in a mess. Here in stage 2, we want more stage points. We're greedy. We want them.
Stay low. Top 3. Use it if you need it.
Not only do we need them,
Outside.
we want them. All right, I really need to clear this 3. He is on our outside and really hurting our speed through the corners.
Still there.
All right, he is hanging
there?
right in there with us. I cannot seem to shake him.
All right. Clear outside. Car outside. Hold your line.
He just will not go away. This man is being very pesky.
Stay on the bottom. You got room. You're clear.
All right, finally. We can use all of the track on exit and hopefully start to get some momentum back because we need some positions. 14th is not where we want to be. We were able to close back in on the 42 pretty quick. Oh yeah, we got a great run on the 42 coming off this corner. Try to draft him a little bit while we can.
Careful, still there. Clear high, clear high. Hold your line, got one outside.
All right, hopefully he doesn't stick out there as long as the 3 car did.
Clear high, clear high.
All right, now we were able to dispose of him pretty quickly. All right, so now we're in 13th. 10th is where I want to be. We got a long way to go and not a whole lot of time to get there. All right, once again, we need a big run off the corner. And we really need to make up some time there because I'm not making up a whole lot of time through the corners on these guys. But for whatever reason, we seem to have a lot of speed on the straightaways now, which I am very happy about. And even with the fully upgraded engine, I didn't expect to be this much faster than these guys on the straightaway, but that is a welcome surprise. So yeah, you can see we're closing on these guys down the straights. Unfortunately, we're running out of time. We got to get there. Oh yeah, we got a great corner there. A little loose right at the end there, but yeah, we got a great run on these 2 guys.
You got 1 to go. Car on the outside now.
Really tried to put it in there that time. Couldn't quite hold it when we got there. Here we go, corner exit. Unfortunately, the 1 car is outside of me, so I don't get quite the run I had been getting. And unfortunately, we're going to run out of time.
Still there. All right, you're clear there.
Ooh, hello. Up close and personal with the 6 car.
Careful, still there.
I couldn't quite hold it. I could get under him, but no momentum there. Now we'll try to get him before the start-finish line.
Stay out the bottom.
Just because... Oh, not quite. We didn't quite have enough time. So 12th. No points there. That is not good. Hopefully, nobody in front of us got a lot of points. All right, do we pit? The answer is... Man, 9 laps. There's going to be 7 laps. Yeah, we're pitting. Let's just do it. Why not? Let's just drop a little wedge here. Why not? I mean, if we're going to have fun with it, let's have fun with it. So this could go very badly, or it could go very good. Not sure which one it's going to be, but we've got how many laps? What is it about?
Still there inside.
Yeah, we don't have very many laps here left to go. All right, we need to get down to the bottom.
Stay high, stay
Shouldn't be
high.
too hard since, well, there's nobody behind us. You hear me just pedaling this thing. I'm trying to find an entry to get down there and haven't been able to find it.
Careful, still there. You got room, you're clear.
All right, there we go. So each and every lap is very precious to us right now. So we need to pass all the cars we can pass while we can pass them.
Careful, still there. Stay at the bottom. All right, clear outside. Car high, careful.
Trying to be as aggressive as I can be with the throttle. Because, of course, we're in amongst some slower traffic right now. Trying to peek in here and get a little bit of a draft as much as I can.
Careful, still there. All clear.
All 51 trying to block us out there. That is not going to happen.
Careful,
We're not going to allow
still
that
there.
to happen. Okay, we're approaching 25th position. Woo, this is... I mean, we're passing a lot of cars here, but boy, do we have a lot more to pass. This is a lot of fun for me to try to do this, because now I know we need to get back I mean, realistically, I want to get back to the top 10.
Careful, still there.
But I want to see how far we can get. You know, did I just ruin our chances for a decent finishing position by pitting? Don't know. That's what we're here to find out.
Clear high, clear high.
All right, I need to get on the inside of the 10 here before. Look at that. Going to pull right down and block me.
Stay out the bottom.
Ooh, that was a pretty good exit for us right there. Ouch,
Careful.
a little bit of contact there. We'll take it. No harm, no foul. All right, so that's going to put us up into 22nd position.
You got room. You're clear.
And I keep glancing to see, most importantly, how many laps are left. Ooh, I got back to the gas quite nicely there.
Stay low, stay low.
All right, so that was a good entry. Good exit.
All clear up top there.
Fairly good exit anyway. All right, we need to make up a bunch of ground on these guys before corner entry.
5 laps to go. Outside,
All right,
outside.
hammer it. Oh, I was going to let it send. I was going to let it eat going into turn 1 there. But the 43 was a bit too close.
Still there. All right, you're clear there.
All right, here we go. We need to clear the 43.
Still there. Clear all around there.
All right, up to 18th. All right, so lowering the wedge was to try to get the car to rotate a little bit more overall, which would not have been an amazing thing for a full fuel run, but of course we're not going to have anywhere near that. So I opted for more rotation to try to give us a little bit more short-term speed. And it's worked. It's definitely worked. In fact, I could have dropped down even more on that wedge. Probably gone a full % lower and helped out even more. So we're sitting here in 18th. And I'm just going to drive this thing down into the corner, because I want position on every car I can get position on before we get to the straightaway.
You're all clear up top there.
That was a terrible entry and exit to that corner. Turn 4 was not good. I pushed it a little bit too hard there.
Careful. Still there.
Again, just sending it down into turn 1, trying to get position and keep position.
Stay on the bottom. You're all clear up top there.
All right, not too bad there. Not too bad. Not perfect, but at this point,
Stay low.
that's going to put us into 15th. And of course, that's pretty much where we were
All right, you're clear there.
when we pitted. So a small bit of an exhale, because we've at least made it back to the top 15. Now let's see what we can do beyond that. Let's see, can we catch these guys in front of us? Again, we're running out of time. We didn't have much time to start with, and now we have even less.
Left, stay calm.
All right, that was pretty good through turn 2. So yeah, I mean, we're catching these guys, but again, it's just, as always, we need a few more laps. With this pitting after stage 2 strategy, we always find ourselves wanting for just a couple more laps at the end. All right, so a great run on the 3, great run on the 42. These are guys that we've been fighting with the entire race, so nothing new to be back around these guys. In fact, it feels good to be back around these guys.
Stay on the bottom. You got room. You're clear there.
All right, here we go. Need to clear the 42
Stay out the bottom.
to make sure we get into 13th position. Lucky number 13.
All right, you're clear.
Okay, not too bad. Unfortunately, we're out of time. We're out of laps and out of corners. But 13th position, so pretty much right where we qualified, but we passed a whole bunch of cars in just a few laps there at the end, and that was maximum fun. I'll take that. That was a lot of fun. 13th position. Now, the real key. What does that mean for us in points? So let's first take a look at how much we earned. It's going to be a nice payday. Yeah, almost $1 million. We'll take that. And then points. We definitely gained some ground on Jimmy Johnson as well as Eric Jones. So very nice. These guys were getting way too close to us, but this race helped us to get back a little bit of what we lost. In fact, quite a few points that we had lost. So I like that. Okay, very good. And that was exactly the type of race we needed. I was secretly hoping that we could get inside that top 10, and who knows what would have happened if we hadn't pitted there, but that was tons of fun. We got a lot of points that we needed, and at the end of the day, the fun is the most important thing. That'll do it for today. Thank you so much for joining me, and stick around for more NASCAR Heat 5.